Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. Today I have special guests, two special guests. They are dear friends of ours for many years, all the way from Jerusalem, and that's Jerusalem, Israel, not Jerusalem, North Dakota. I don't want you to get the two mixed up. But anyway, here's our friends, Chris and Liz Mitchell. Welcome.
Andy, great to be with you.
It's good to be with you, Andy.
We go way back. I don't know if we want to say how many years back, but we go way back. And before we got started, Liz and I were talking about when we first met you and Kay. And I remember a conversation we had on Main Street in Petoskey. It was probably right around Christmas time. I think you were working at JCPenney's. Anyway, we met on the street and we started talking. We had just, I think, started going to Harbor Light Community Chapel. And so that's, we knew each other from there. But I just remember that conversation vividly. It was beginning of a beautiful friendship, as it says in the last line of Casablanca.
And I remember meeting Kay for the very first time at her baby shower for Chad.
Oh, my.
I mean, he wasn't even born yet. Wow.
Yeah. And we would come over to your place and have dinner. And I can remember bringing groceries there in a snowstorm over to your place. I think we watched the last episode of MASH.
Yes, we did.
Over at your place as well.
And I remember when Kay went into labor for Michaela, I parked the car right behind yours. I came over to watch Chad and you kept saying, why would she do this? Why would she do this? I never even thought about it. That was that little place on Ingalls you had.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, those are, wow.
Yeah. And we were elders together at Harbor Light Community Chapel. We can think back of all our friends that were there. I remember some of your favorite sermons.
Yes.
And I remember two things. One, actually several, but one of the things was Easter. I think it was on Good Friday. And all the elders, I think, had maybe like 5 minutes to do it. And your 5 minutes was like a 35, 40-minute sermon condensed into 5 minutes. It was so rich. It was, and I think I remember you saying that what are the only man-made things in heaven? And it's the scars on Jesus' hands and his feet and his side. And and we talked too about a fish sermon you had where you brought in a dead fish as a illustration. And I'm sure the people that watch Morning Moments understand that you can be creative in many ways.
However, halfway through the sermon, it started to smell and we were like 2 rows back and we were in trouble.
Yeah. Also, tell me about, there's another sermon that comes to mind. It was a Sunday evening. And those are the days when we went to Wednesday night and Sunday morning. And I don't know if it was you or John Hill preaching. I think it actually was you preaching. John Hill kept getting up during your sermon, like opening a window or straightening a chair or doing something that it was very distracting, but it was all part that you and John had arranged previously. So you knew what was going on, but people were getting annoyed, but it was all part of an illustration.
Yeah.
Andy used to like to do illustrations, that's for sure.
Very much.
Well, the children's ministry helps me with that. I mean, you had to a lot of things that I continue doing illustrations for the adults as much as I did for the kids. And I remember that fish. I brought it in a briefcase, opened the briefcase out, flopped it down in the front before I started preaching, and the looks of everybody with that fish. And like you said, the more I preached, the stinkier that fish got. Yeah.
Hey, and we used to do a routine as well. You played, and I forget the name, but an old man. You had a sort of a mask on, and we would do a little routine promoting, I think, like a church retreat.
Yeah.
At that time. Yeah.
It was an old character I had from the Kids Crusades, Grandpa Buford. And I had this old mask. And, hey, come in, I'm Grandpa Buford. And I just extended that children's ministry character, and used to do promos at church too. And we would team up to do some of those together.
So we used to have 2 services on Sunday morning. I think one was 8:30, the other may have been 10:30. On one of the early morning services, I was up there. I think I was doing the announcements. You came in the back and you stumbled on purpose coming in. And I remember, I forget who it was, who got up to help you. And everybody thought this was a real thing, and you really were stumbling. And yeah, but we were good. Straight. I was the straight man, and good team.
You know, and it wasn't as much fun as we had as couples growing up. I mean, we had 2 families with kids, young kids, and the kids played together. Now our kids have got kids of their own. But we also, as you said, we served as elders together in a church that was just forming and just trying to get policies, procedures, and process in place. And I remember Pastor Bill saying, we're not leaving in this meeting until we have consensus of how things are going to be done here. And that's where we learned about leadership, and we learned about the importance of the supportive role that elders have. And we've spent plenty of nights together, Chris, talking about communion and talking about prayer, and it was the building blocks of our Christian walk.
No, very much so.
I remember with at the beginning, sometimes the Jesus movement had just flashed through, and some of us were just new in even the spirit, and we'd say, we're not sure about this slain in the spirit stuff. And the next thing you know, we're praying for people and they're falling, and we're like, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to understand all theology and all new stuff that was happening. It wasn't new stuff. It was new to us.
Yeah.
And trying to figure that all out together, and knowing we wanted to be honorable with the Lord, and willing to just be open to anything he was leading.
Yeah. And, I think we mentioned this before we got on, is that, lifelong friendships. And I think the key is the Lord.
Amen.
Yes.
I remember a letter that people wrote back in the day before I got saved, was from my uncle, who was instrumental in me leading me to the Lord. And he said, in a marriage, he didn't know how people stayed together unless it was the Lord. And I think the same thing for friendship. It's our relationship with the Lord that binds us together, knits us together, not only in this life, but we have, an eternal future to look forward to when this life is over.
Yeah.
I also know,
go ahead.
Excuse me, Ann. I also know that the Lord is number one, but for us as couples, we cried through each other's pains. We laughed through each other's humiliations sometimes. And we just, we were there. We were there. You didn't even have to say, could you come? I really need, we were already there, it saddens me that there is this break in that, even now with COVID, but even before that, it was all this Facebook stuff, and they're not feeling the relationship we had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we still have.
It was about, I think a year, maybe a year and a half ago that, and we don't get a chance to meet too often. You folks live in Jerusalem. We went to your house, 2000, remember the Y2K thing? You guys were just leaving the United States, going to be the bureau chiefs of CBN and 700 Club in Jerusalem. In 2000, we said goodbye to you. Haven't seen you a lot since. Every now and then we'd see you. But about a year and a half ago, we met at Founders Inn, and I had to bring all these books out. Remember these books that I had you sign for me? All of these books that you wrote concerning Dateline Jerusalem, Destination Jerusalem, ISIS, Iran, and Israel. And as you were signing these books for us and we were talking about this, within just a few minutes, it's been months since we've talked together and years since we've been together, but within just a few minutes, we were caught up.
Yeah.
That's what was amazing about whatever we get together, distance of work, and you're halfway around the world, but the thing that binds us together is the suffering that we suffered together, the happiness we shared together, the birth of our children, and that's what lasts. But also the same relationship with God and our relationship with God that binds us together. And lifetime friends are lifetime friends.
Yeah. And we're also surprised how fast life goes.
Oh,
yeah. It's as the Bible says, it's like a vapor.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just showing Liz a video. She'd already seen it as well, of this elderly woman, and saying she's looking in the mirror and she says, "Who's this looking back at me?" She's got wispy white hair and she's got sags and wrinkles, and it happens to us all.
Yeah.
But when I look back, I think, what are the important things? It's the family and friends and faith that we all share.
Yes, absolutely. So I would like for this interview and this video to inspire you to reach out to people that you've known for years and haven't talked to for a while. And I would like and inspire you to be able to do a Zoom meeting together with your friends, or pick up a phone and call, or text them and connect. The distance of halfway around the world anymore, it doesn't have to be halfway around the world. We could be in the same room with videos and with Zooms and with those media ability to do that, and virtual communications. So I would encourage you out there to do that. I want to thank our good friends Chris and Liz for connecting with us here on Morning Moments. If this has been an inspiration to you, I would like for you to share this on your Facebook page, because I think that the message needs to go out about closeness and friendship that lasts for years. Share it on your YouTube. Share the video that I'm going to post on YouTube as well. And reach out, and don't be closed in by COVID-19. Be open. And any closing thoughts that you and Liz have to share?
I would just put an exclamation point on what you just said, Andy, is to reach out to people maybe that you haven't known or you haven't seen or heard from in a long time. I'll give you an example that I've been thinking about. Just a couple of months ago, I heard from my high school track team. And we were actually, I put it this way, in my freshman year, I don't think they won a track meet in the, what is it called, the spring season. By the time we were seniors, we were the third best cross-country team in New England. And that's all due to a coach who was an excellent coach. We ran literally almost all year round. The point being, they connected us. They let us know we were going to be part of the St. Mary's High School Hall of Fame. And when I started listening, or we started emailing between us, all these emotions of what a great camaraderie we had, was stirring up. But it led me also to think about some relatives that I haven't heard from in a while, and the motivation to go ahead and reach out. So just an exclamation point to what you said, Andy. It's a time to reconnect with some old friends, family members, people from our past, to reignite those relationships.
Do I have a minute to say a thing or two, Andy?
Absolutely, Liz. Go ahead.
Okay. My sister Mary, you knew Mary. She passed away about almost 5 years ago now. And one of the things Chris did the eulogy, and one of the things he did on that morning, he said, how many of you have heard from Mary? And I would say that 80% of the people put up their hands, because when Mary thought of people, she would call them. She would pray for them, call them, make sure they were okay, send them a note, something. And these were her friends. I mean, she was unable to walk around for a while, and when she thought of somebody, she didn't just let it sit. She called them, checked on them, made sure they were doing okay, prayed for them. Yeah, so I just encourage you, like you both have been saying, contact the people that just come to mind, pray for them,
Mhm.
Yeah.
reach out, find out where they are, because there's some people that are really struggling right now.
Yeah.
They've lost their business, they've lost their homes, some have lost their families.
Yes.
And we need to be reaching out.
Mary did connect with me too. And we
Yeah.
all remember having conversations and talking with her before she went. What a wonderful woman she was, and what a great time of relationships. So please take heart of this video. Please take heart of it and do something about it. Just don't sit there. Do something
Amen.
about it, because God is causing you to listen to this today for a reason. And I thank you for joining me, and keep coming back for some more morning moments. God bless you all.
God bless you, Andy.
Blessings.
All right. Thank you.